Okay, I want to introduce Bill Brown from to introduce our speaker and our host for today.
Hello, I'm Bill Brown. I'm 26 years living in Signal Hill. I love Signal Hill in the community. And I love this chamber because Terry Rogers introduced me to the chamber, told me how important the chamber is, why, I mean, I understood what chamber was, the Chamber of Commerce, the chambers are important for, but how they help the community and help the businesses in so many ways. I don't actually technically have a company. I have 3 YouTube channels. They're all done for free. One is called Stage Explorations, all about local theater. One is called Row the Con, about arts and local comic creators. And then my wife said, well, if you're gonna create a YouTube channel, you better create one about Signal Hill. So I created one on Signal Hill on Point. So it's all about stories about nonprofits, companies, and anything else I think is cool about Signal Hill. And also Long Beach, because we partner many times with Long Beach also. Well, one of those people I covered was John Peterson of P3 Theater. I've done 200 videos about him. What I love about the theater is that not only he does some of the best productions that I have seen by a theater production, he also does a program for helping kids and adults just learning about theater. And to me, also I get emotional about this, but sorry, he also helps the veterans. He has given over $85,000 worth of tickets to local veterans in Southern California. And to me, when you're giving back to the first responders of this country, that is very important to me. So I'm not gonna say that much more because John has his great spiel, but he's a great person. I consider him his friend, and as a theater, I believe you should follow, you should go to, and help him with all these educational programs also. John Peterson.
Thank you, Buell. Hi, everybody. I'm John Peterson, the Executive Artistic Director, founder of P3 Theater Company. Thanks so much to the Chamber for allowing us as new members to come and kind of introduce ourselves to you guys. And thank you, Buell, for co-hosting the event with us today and for your wonderful introduction. Now I have like big shoes to fill with that. But P3 Theater. P3 stands for Passionate, Pragmatic, and Progressive. And those are the 3 ways that we as a company and as artists, we approach the theater arts. We had the fortune of our grand opening being 6 months before COVID. Great time to open a brand new theater company, live theater. We actually opened at the Scottish Rite Cathedral down near downtown Long Beach. We had 3 great productions under our belt. We were building our patron base, our donor base. Then, like the rest of the world, we had to stop for a long time. But I only stopped for a month. I don't sit still very well. So we jumped right into creating virtual productions for the public. And we made all of those free to the public. I basically reached out to my pool of actors. One of the shows we did in our first season was Steel Magnolias, so I reached out to the cast and we did a virtual reading of the show and streamed it live on YouTube, and that was a whole experience in of itself. And we did 6 other full productions virtually. They were mostly really staged readings because at that point we were trying to figure things out. There was still the lag on Zoom and all that fun stuff. But that's when we really started to launch our P3 Educates division. And it's P3 Educates with a plus after it, because it's not just about education. It's about introducing people to the arts, giving people opportunities to connect and build relationships and teamwork and confidence. One of the programs that we created was a talk show, a YouTube talk show called Breaking It Down with Jody Marks. And that was actually a direct result of the George Floyd incident that happened. And this talk show was created to help educate, enlighten, and enrich people about communities of people of color and challenges they may face, or their contribution to the arts, or how they educate through education. We did that, and then we created some talk shows. We had live Tech Talk with Ethan, which was where we had a high school student from Renaissance High School for the Arts that we connected him with a lot of backstage people, the people you don't see on the stage, the lighting designers, the choreographers, stage managers. He interviewed the head of the wardrobe at the Metropolitan Opera. He interviewed the head of the technical department at Harvard. And so it was great taking this 15-year-old through high school, his last years of high school, and getting to introduce him to these people that were in a field that he was passionate about. And then we did Live with P3 Educates, where we interviewed a lot of Broadway actors and whatnot, and we streamed all of those on the internet, free for audiences. Then we came about where the world started to revolve again, and we were very cautious, like many others. We were doing one-person shows, trying to rebuild patron base. The Scottish Rite was no longer available to us, so we actually had to move out of the Long Beach, Signal Hill area. We did a lot of stuff in Hermosa Beach, in Hollywood, and we were trying to get back to Long Beach because I lived here when I was in college and I loved the Long Beach, Signal Hill area, but there were no venues available. We actually, last year, finally ended up doing some stuff at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, which very excited to say the show that was a world premiere that we produced there won a lot of awards, and it took it to Off-Broadway. So we have actually an Off-Broadway credit under our brand new fledgling small little theater company. We ran 6 weeks earlier this year, and from that festival it won a lot more awards, and it's going back next year to Off-Broadway. So thank you, we're very excited about that. And this last few months, thanks to Buell again, we were introduced to the Los Altos United Methodist Church, which is just down Willow from here, very, very close. And they happen to have a little stage in their fellowship hall that's a perfect size for a small theater company to do our size of productions. And we are building a partnership with them. So we are going to be presenting Jekyll Hyde, the musical, coming up this month on the 26th. It's going to be a concert version of it, so it's not going to be all the blood and costumes and props and all that. But we are doing the full show with all the dialogue and everything. And it's a staged concert, so you'll know what the show's about and what's happening. But it's in kind of a concert version. So that's our first thing we've actually done since we were in New York earlier this year. So we are super duper excited about that. Tickets are on sale now. And that's what we've got coming up. We have a Christmas show called a SoCal Christmas Carol, which was originally written as a Miami Christmas Carol, which is your typical standard Charles Dickens Christmas Carol story, but it took place in Miami. And our version, where the original playwright of this is rewriting it, and it's going to be SoCal in the 80s. And if you were in SoCal in the 80s, it was totally tubular back then. So it is going to be a musical version, so it's going to be a lot of fun, very, very family friendly. And we are in the process of coming up with our 2025 season. So we are very excited about that. I'm hoping by the end of the month we'll have all of that information released, what we've got coming up. Buell mentioned that we have our P3 Educates programming. This is one of the things that I love because I went to a performing arts high school and was introduced kind of later in life, as they say, to the arts and theater. And if there were programs like we are presenting with P3 Educates, I would have had an introduction to it, I think, a lot earlier in life. But what we do with our education division is we have reached out to several nonprofits throughout Long Beach and Signal Hill areas that we will take customized theater programming or workshops to these nonprofits, and it would be customized based on the needs of that nonprofit. For example, the very first one we worked with was called Power for Youth, and it was young teens with mentors, and they wanted a way to help build their social skills and their confidence and introduce them to the theater. So we brought them in and did a big improv workshop with them, and it was a huge success. But we aren't restricted to youth. We also work with Compassionate Artists, and they're an organization that brings the arts to low-income seniors. So they go into these low-income senior facilities that don't have any family that visit them. There's no entertainment budget, and we go in and we will provide entertainment. We've done cabaret shows for them. We've run karaoke. We've done little dance classes with them. So we can tailor to just about anything. And it's at no cost to nonprofit organizations, so we do not charge these organizations for us to go in there. We're actually forming a partnership now with the LGBT Center in Long Beach to bring like a gay improv workshop to their teens. That's something that they're requesting of us, so we're excited to start that. So we've got P3 Educates, and then we have, as Buell said, our sponsorship for veterans. There's an organization called VetTix, and it's vettix.org, and any veterans or first responders can go to their website and they can get tickets, free tickets to concerts, sporting events, theater. And we will donate anywhere from 10 to 50 tickets per performance, not per production, per performance, to them. And we have since our very, very first production of Evita in 2019. And as Buell said, we've donated over $85,000 in tickets to them, and it's just exciting because they're required by VetTix to go on their website, take a picture of them with like the program, and give some kind of feedback. And just the impact we've had on these veterans. My dad's a Navy veteran, and that's how I got connected with that. And it's just I don't know, makes me kind of proud. It's kind of exciting to see that we can go in and make a difference. And it's everything from being able to take their families out. You know, they've got a family of 4 or 6, and theater tickets aren't cheap, let's face it. So they can go take their family out to events free, people going on a date, people who loved Doris Day, and we produced a Doris Day show, and it brings them back to their youth, and they get to enjoy all of that. So really excited about that program. The impact of local theater on the community is it's kind of unmatchable. It's one of those things that people can afford to go to, as opposed to like the Seekersturm, the Amundsen, the Pantages. Yes, they bring amazing productions, but not everybody can afford those. So with lower ticket prices, being a smaller regional theater, it offers affordability for families to go out and get off their phones, get off of streaming TV channels, playing video games, which all those are fun and great, but if you don't have that interaction and that social interaction and connection with the arts, be it a play that might be something that is a topic you're familiar with or might actually touch you, the music and musicals, opera, dance, any of that. So it's very, very important from a social aspect, but it's also important from an economic aspect. That being, people get off of their couches, get out of their living rooms, get off their phones. They might go have dinner before a show. They might go shopping before a show. They might go buy a new outfit because the wife wants new clothes. The husband doesn't have a suit. One of the things that we do is we reach out to a lot of the senior community groups in cities all over LA and Orange County. We bring busloads in, anywhere from 30 to 50, 60 people that'll come in. And then we will set them up at local restaurants. I don't go to chain restaurants, I go to local restaurants. And where they will have lunch before a show or dinner before a show. So that's a big busload of people that can bring in revenue for that business. And then go shopping in the local areas. And if there's like a shopping center or anything, they've done that quite a lot. So it brings money into the community as well. So another reason to support local theater. So for Long Beach Gives, which Matthew Harms is here of Long Beach Gives, we were part of that this year. Buell and I sat down with 11 different arts organizations in the Long Beach and Signal Hill areas to kind of interview them about what they bring, what their programming is, that type of thing. And one question I asked every organization was, how much does ticket sales, the revenue from ticket sales, how much of your expenses does that cover? And across the board, it was anywhere from 25 to 30%, which is not very much at all. So that makes it tough. Licensing of a musical just to be able to perform it on a stage can be anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, and it goes up from there. So if you think about that, that's about 70% of a show we've got to cover expenses for. We pay our actors, we pay our design team, we have to rent a venue, costumes, props, sets, all of that. Where does the money come from? Well, of course, there's grants, which thank you, city, state, county, for all of your COVID relief grants that are now all dried up. But that's why we're still here. That's why I'm able to actually stand here and talk to you guys today. So there are grants. We have individual donations. We have corporate contributions, corporate sponsorships. Those are really where the bulk of income comes from for our theater organizations. So that is a huge reason why you should support the theater. How can you do that? You can buy tickets. You can go onto our website at p3theater.biz and make a donation toward our Sponsor a Veteran program, towards our P3 Educates program, towards our general funding, any of that. And a huge way, if you don't have means to do that type of financial support, is word of mouth. Really spreading the word. We're just getting back to Long Beach again, which we're really excited about, but we're kind of starting all over again with the patron base and donor base because we've been scattered all over the Southland for the last 3 to 4 years. So we're trying to build that, and word of mouth is really going to help that. If we can get people into the theater, as Buell said, we really do top-notch productions. Super, super blessed for that, even from our very first production. Being a brand new company, we landed a team of actors and creative team that was just really, really stellar. So we would love to talk with any of you about any type of support you could give. We have corporate sponsorship packages where you can, the benefits to corporations or even individuals would be things such as theater tickets, advertising on social media through email blasts, signage at our events, in our programs. You can buy ads in our programs. There's just a lot of different ways that you guys can help out in that regard. And other than that, we just love connecting with the community, and again, local businesses, we're huge. We love to support and cross promote and that type of thing as well. So yeah, that's about it. That was the spiel, I guess, if you will. Yes, sir, John. Oh, thank
Do I get a question?
you. Yes, of course.
I never considered the process of putting on. So you have 3 actors. Is that all that is in this play?
No, those are just the 3 main leads.
So you have 3 leads and other people. You have music. You have to practice. You have to learn music and lines.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a stage. You have to pay all that money. And for one performance.
For one performance.
For one performance.
One performance.
How does that work? Like, it's
Well,
you have a
I,
line of people
I will say for this performance, we are lucky enough because it's a benefit performance to help raise money to get us into our 2025 season. Everybody involved with this production, with the exception of one person, is volunteering their time and talents for us.
But it's still all that work to learn the music and the notes and the
It is.
one performance. That's stunning.
It is.
I
It's
had no
you
idea.
know, a lot of it is they're doing it for their love of the art. And actually, EL and I, he's a very good friend of mine. I did Jekyll and Hyde with him 19 years ago. He's reprising his role as Jekyll and Hyde, and I'm playing a supporting character, John Utterson, that I played opposite him 19 years ago. And he was the one person that I thought he's gonna want me to pay him, but let's try. And he said it's his investment in art.
And you sing too?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Opera singer, sang on cruise ships,
That's
national
for sure.
tours.
This is astounding. I'm gonna try to make it. That's real.
But very, very, very excited. EL actually played. They did a national tour of I Love Lucy the musical, and he played Ricky Ricardo, and it actually played Cerritos Center a few years back. But yes, yeah. Deal.
Also mention, I know it's a fundraiser for the church, but MJM in concert, hoping you'll be doing throughout the years. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we also have some standalone shows, as I like to call them, that we have available that we're trying to get booked at, like Leisure World and places like that. They're really good for corporate events as well. We have one called MGM in Concert that we're actually doing at the Los Altos United Methodist Church as a fundraiser for them in January. And that show I've been performing in since the mid-90s. It actually moved me to Florida in 1996. And it's 3 people, 90 minutes of music, and it's all the old MGM movie musical classics. Kiss Me Kate, Annie Get Your Gun, Brigadoon, Showboat. And it's fast moving, fast paced, very family friendly, just 90 minutes of music. And it's a wonderful show. And it was a huge success on the East Coast for years and years. And the originator of that, as well as myself and the originator and his daughter, who were the original 3 cast members, we all live out here now. So we've been producing that out here since 2019 as well. And then we have a Doris Day show, which is a very beloved show. Deborah Rahman actually plays Doris Day in that. That is probably going to be our March event, so definitely keep an eye out for that. It was our last show that we produced in 2020 before COVID, for which that production, Deborah won the Best Performer in a Musical Award from the Orange County Theater Guild. And it's a 2-person show, basically takes you through the life of Doris Day through her music. And it's, I think she's got 16 costume changes, 7 wigs, and a whole bunch of music. But it's a fantastic show, and that'll be coming up in probably early March. Official announcement will be at the end of this month. But yeah, so we've got those. And the fundraiser for the church, which that'll be on our website and everything, will be at the end of January. One thing I forgot to mention. We do have a discount code for Signal Hill Chamber members.
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to jot it down, I don't know if it's on the website yet. I will have to see about getting on there so everybody can be made aware. It's SHCC, like Signal Hill Chamber of Commerce, 2025. And that'll give you 15% off ticket prices.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Family friendly.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions from you guys?
One show.
Cool. Well, thank you for sitting there and listening to me chat about my theater company.